Last Sunday was not a great day for the Minnesota Vikings. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens 27-19, and it might have been the worst game of Justin Jefferson's career in Minnesota. Targeted 12 times and only had 4 catches. Now, it was just a weird day from a lot of different perspectives, with many calling out his effort. And he took to the podium on Thursday and talked about it, how he needs to get back to Savage Jets, year 3 Jets, even posted on his Instagram story about that. And 3 years ago on Thursday was that infamous Bills catch when he had nearly 200 yards and a touchdown in that game and was dominant when the Vikings needed him. And they're going to need him on Sunday afternoon against the Chicago Bears when they have a depleted secondary. He's going to need to have that big game that we have so desperately needed him to have to help out quarterback J.J. McCarthy. And I'm going to predict him to have that big game. I believe that he's going to easily go higher than his 72.5 receiving yards. Why? You can just tell there's motivation there. There's going to be motivation for him to really take that step up and really show that last week's game was an aberration. There's going to be a focus from the Minnesota Vikings to get him the football because he's the best player on the football team. And this Bears secondary still does not have Kyler Gordon or Jalen Johnson. They are going to have a really difficult time in guarding these Vikings wide receivers. And Justin Jefferson is going to have himself a big day. On the other side of the football, well, the Vikings run defense has been better. They only allowed 4.2 yards per carry against the Ravens, but they still allowed nearly 150 yards. I think DeAndre Swift is going to be able to get I'm going to go higher than his 57.5 rushing yards on the day. I don't necessarily think that Swift is going to be this big difference maker in the course of the game, but you give him 18 carries, he's going to easily topple that number. He's going to get about 4 yards a carry. Why? This Vikings team still doesn't have a nose tackle. They've done a really good job of navigating this year without a nose tackle, but they're still going to need one down the line. And because they don't have one, you're going to be able to manipulate these interior defenders, the oops all 3 technique lineup that the Vikings put out there. And without Jonathan Grenard potentially in this game, it could end up being a huge deal for the Minnesota Vikings on defense. And remember, Underdog Fantasy is the place to play. And remember, on your first deposit, you will receive 50% of that deposit in bonus credits when you use promo code A to Z, up to $1,000. That's right. 50% of your deposit in free bonus credits.